Ashley, Slade, what does it say about our current state of events and perhaps our own personal lives directly that we all three seek escapism into the gentle, peaceful world of the haunting of Hill House?
Yeah.
It's a real thing where I realized last week when I said that this is like my comfort show.
Yeah.
And then I watched this episode and I was like, that's fucked up.
It's real fucked up. But it is. But it kind of like, sometimes I'll be like, it's like, I'll have a stressful day. I'll come home and I'll be like, you know what? I need to just sit down and go to Hill House. You know? I just need to chill out, relax, and go to Hill House.
Welcome to Flan-Again, a Mike Flanagan rewatch, brought to you by the Articulate Coven. For more information on the original Anne Rice fan podcast and community, visit articulatecoven.com and find more about this show at articulatecoven.com/Flan-Again. Ashley and I recorded earlier tonight, Slade, our patron-only segment, which, by the way, if you're watching this show, welcome to Flan-Again, our rewatch discussion of Mike Flanagan's works. We've covered Midnight Mass. We've covered Fall of the House of Usher. And right now we are in the middle of a discussion of The Haunting of Hill House. It's Slade and Ashley's favorite Mike Flanagan project, actually. Ashley and Slade are, in fact, brother and sister. I am just longtime friend and ne'er-do-well who edits the audio on the end of this thing. We are the sister of the Articulate Coven, the original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's works. Go check that out. You're getting some teasers of our patron-only stuff right now as you're getting episodes of our discussion of Castle Rock from Stephen King and Hulu over there. This show, Haunting of Hill House, is, of course, available on Netflix, although Mike Flanagan's now working over at Amazon Prime. We're excited to talk about Carrie later this fall. Okay. We recorded earlier that patron-only segment where we're now discussing Widow's Bay from Apple TV. Ashley and I are. And I edited that, and then I had escaped from that, and I'd taken my little break, fixing my drink and everything. And I was like, oh, hey, the premiere of episode 1 of Haunting of Hill House is happening right now on YouTube. Let me drop in there and watch that. And I listened, literally just moments before we got on this call together, I listened to the two of you opine about how you escape into when I'm having a rough week, I just wrap myself up in the Crane family. And I thought, Jesus, maybe I have not dwelled deep enough into the upraising of the Eiler twins. Excuse me, not the Eiler twins.
This is the right side.
The right twins, yes. There you go. Y'all, listen, this is a lovely series in so many ways. And we talked about that last week, too. There's so much beauty here and joy.
Yes.
But it is interesting, I think, for all three of us that we do escape into horror. Says something for real.
I mean,
yes,
if you're listening abroad, it's fucked up in the U.S. right now is what I'm trying to get at.
Quite a thing. I would love to pretend like this was like a recent development, though. It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. You know, like, I mean,
it predates he who shan't be named.
Yeah, it's been forever. You know, like, you know, I've been into true crime before. That was something that was acceptable to be into. You know what I mean? Like,
there's also a lovely like catharsis to finishing it, right?
Yeah, there
like,
is.
Once you get to the back end of it feels
there is.
I can't just like step in for one episode. I gotta finish it.
It's really, and like even how we're watching it right now, like when we watched the first episode, Brett and I was like, hey, I gotta watch Hill House, and Brett was like, sure, because he's always up for it too. Because he's just as weird as the rest of us.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
So we'll plop down and turn it on. And we got literally all the way to and halfway through the Bent Neck Lady, which is like the 5th fucking episode. And I had to go to bed. And that was literally it. It was already like 1:30. And I was like, I gotta go to fucking work tomorrow. But it's really hard to like not watch all of it when I sit down to watch it.
Okay, I have a couple of pieces of feedback that I want to get to real quick.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to have to connect to this one because I want to get this author right. It was on Threads, And I saw this woman. This was right after we had recorded last week. I saw this woman had posted about Hill House. Fall of House of Usher, excuse me. It's Cassandra A. Thompson, who's an author. Cassandra runs a publisher as well. Quill and Crow is the name of the publishing house. But Cassandra had posted an image of Roderick, and it said, "And for the lady, perhaps another rewatch of Fall of the House of Usher." And I thought, Cassandra is our kind of people, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she is.
You should check out Articulate Kevin's sister show, Mike Flanagan. So Cassandra said, well, now I will. You should check out Quill and Crow. And now I have. Cassandra, I'm super excited to read some of your stuff. Thanks for turning me on to that. This came through on Spotify, though, the other day from Joss. Just stumbled across this meaning Flan-Again, from the Articulate Coven. We've been talking about it a lot lately in our last few Vampire Lestat episodes.
And we have a lot of new listeners, so it's like a lot of people don't know that we even have done this.
Yes, they're like, you did what now? Joss said, Fall of the House of Usher is one of my favorites. I love it. And I love you two as hosts for this. And at first I was like, yeah, of course you love us. And I was like,
oh, no, that
you're
was
not talking about me, actually. I'm not on that. That was Brett and Ashley. Oh.
Well, it was so funny recording that.
It was definitely my hyperfixation show at one point. And I really enjoy learning new things about the show that I may not have picked up on. Thank you, Joss. I hope you're enjoying Hill House as well. And then this comes from the Herstory Witch on Instagram. Hello. I just wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your podcast. I came really late to the party, but in January, I finally discovered the world of Anne Rice. Since there, I am obsessed with everything ongoing and finally found your podcast, which I'm currently binge listening to. And it's so good. OMG. Thank you so much for your years of dedication in this really awesome show. Lots of love from Germany. And I am 99% sure under it's a different name, so I'm not 1,000,000% sure, but I'm fairly certain they just joined as a brand new patron. So the Herstory Witch, go check. They've got a very cool Instagram profile too. Thank you for that. Okay. This episode, not nearly as scary as episode 1. However, the parts of it that are scary are scarier than the parts of episode 1 that are scary. Does that equation make sense?
Yes.
I think it's like it's more unsettling than the first episode. There's a lot of like really unsettling moments. The bugs crawling out of the mouth and
no, we do not enjoy it. I was telling Brett, I was like, the thing about this episode is that when I think about it and I'm like, oh, maybe I just want to watch an episode of Hill House. This is not one I would ever throw on. Like sometimes I'm like, I just need to get my bent neck lady on and feel some feelings, But like for this one, it's not. I'm always like, maybe this is like my least favorite episode of it, and I don't ever look forward to it. And then when I watch it, I'm like, fuck you, you dumb twat. You actually really love this. Here's what you don't like. You don't like the fake dead kitten. Because it doesn't look quite right. And I got this beef with Flanagan for fucking Midnight Mass too, when they have I'm like, why? What is it? Why do we have bad dead cats?
There's a specific company that they use for all of these dead animals, and it's honestly, I say dead animals for the animals period, but it's the same company as being used in a different. God, I can't remember what it is now, but there's another show that I'm using or watching right now. There's another show that I'm strapping on and putting in my veins. Yeah. God. That's my whole life. That's my whole life right there in a sentence, Slade. I've admitted all my vices. There's another show I'm using. No, there's something else I'm watching right now that is using that same company. And they sort of drive me crazy on the one hand. On the flip side, though, Ashley, I think this is one of those things like, gunfire. Okay. It turns out blanks are still unsafe, actually. And it's easily fixable with a very affordable CGI effect that basically we could use industry-wide. And does it look as good? No, actually it doesn't. But you know what? If everybody did it, we'd get used to it. In 30 seconds,
our minds
just like
would
that, and it'll all be fine.
Our brains would accept it.
No animals would die. if everybody used these fake robot animals, actually. And so I agree they look weird, but I think this is a uncanny valley we ought to just get over. And if the whole industry was using them, they'd get better looking and cheaper.
When she's tapping on them, they make a weird sound, and that's what bothered me more than the visual. I was like, that's not good. I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that. And really, it's not the cats the whole time, but it's like the cat in the box. Like it just looks. I mean, this is a recurring beef I have, so we'll just call it that. Like,
we talked about it at length in Midnight Mass during that one episode. Mass, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I went on about a 15-minute tirade.
The beach.
And about,
yeah.
How bad that fucking, like, it's not quite right, so it fucks with my brain. My brain is just like, that's not quite it. Like, I accidentally picked up a dead puppy one time. Like, I know that's not quite right, you know?
I accidentally picked up a dead. Okay.
I did.
I feel like, actually, this is like when I went on the Nikki and Paris rant for Interview with the Vampire Lestat, and you were like, turns out, Joel, that's just about you, actually.
Yeah, it's just
I think
about
maybe
your
the fake animals might be you grabbed a dead animal one time.
I picked up a dead puppy on accident. It was awful.
You're like, that's not the way that works. This is the moment from Lord of the Rings where Christopher Lee is explaining to
how it's what it sounds
Peter
like to
Jackson
stab someone
what
in
it
the
sounds
back.
like when you stab someone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't scream out. He has no air in his lungs. It's a gasping and a gurgling.
It's the gurgle. That's the gurgle that gets me.
And also the thunk of the cats.
Okay. Just though, right off the bat, in case you thought perhaps some of the kids got out of seeing that vision at 3:03 in the morning, none of the children got out of seeing that vision at 3:03.
No.
Shirley got it too.
Yeah, well, and she wakes up and says that what she said in the moment that we see in the first episode, which is Nellie's in the red room.
Nellie's in the red room.
God fucking damn it! I just got goosebumps. Like, oh, and this episode really.
I'm 100% gonna cry in this one. Just so everyone knows. I'm already getting teary because the Nell stuff really, really hurts.
Oh, it's awful! It's awful. It's so fucking awful.
Want to call out the name specifically because maybe they don't want to make it that public. We do have a private Facebook group, but you should go join our private Facebook group. Someone put up their red room tattoo this week in the group. Did you see it, Ashley?
Yes.
It's on the shoulder.
It's really cool.
Amazing. This is
very cool.
This is for them what it is for you guys. And I was like, I'd never imagined that art.
I would not be able to put that red room on myself.
I love that.
Oh, it's so
I was actually talking
ballsy.
I was talking to Hannah about like what if I were to get a Hill House tattoo, like what would it be? You know, and we had this discussion this week. But so it's funny that someone had the red room tattoo in the group because
it's like the door. I think is what it is. Was it the door?
It's good.
Yeah, it's the door and like the surrounding frame of the door. The frame of the door is in black and white, and the door itself is bright red,
fucking
with
red.
the dark outlines for the lines of the door.
I have the blueprints of the house as like like a frame picture of the blueprints of the house. We haven't gotten there in the show yet, but like the mad one, the crazy one that she makes.
Yes.
That's on my wall in my library. Yeah.
Fuck off. So it is so cool. It looks awesome in there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love though. We start with her. We know that she got the vision too, but she just rolls over and goes back to sleep. And then she's immediately gaslighting this kid about what he saw or didn't see when she's having visions of her sister. Like, I love Shirley in some ways because we all need a Shirley. I don't know I know you guys have an older sister. I don't know whether your sister raised the two of you, quote unquote. I know I had a friend.
We all stumbled through that together.
Yeah, I had a friend that lived like next door to me when we were small, and they had like 4 kids or something like that, and the oldest daughter was like 5 years older.
That
and she raised all the kids.
of children is very prevalent in our world. Yeah.
And you can see it on Shirley's face as we go back and forth in time through this episode.
Because she also has this feeling of responsibility for everyone and wanting to take care of everyone that Steve lacks. Steve doesn't have that quite in the same way that Cheryl does. She's so afraid, and I get this because I'm this way. She's so afraid of consequences. She's so afraid of the fallout of what happens. She is like, there's a lot, I see a lot of myself in Shirley, actually, in a lot of ways. And it really comes through in this episode, that need to fix things, that need to be like, I can't be the reason this falls apart. And I may be the only one holding shit together right now. And so I've got to fucking be on point, you know? So there's like her need to like fix things. And that's so very much the dad too, you know?
Yes,
and I love that.
That's the note that I have, is like, she is her father's daughter, whether she wants to admit that or not. And she very much doesn't want to admit that.
Yeah.
But
Which is also kind of true of me in a lot of ways. You know, there's a lot of my dad in me for sure.
Every house needs a heart.
Yeah.
The house as a body analogy is just chef's kiss. The
and
way
it
that
just
she
gets
lays
better
out
and better as it goes along. Like
Oh,
they
yes.
build on that
Yes.
so well. Oh.
it's kind of they just lay the seeds for it here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time we hear them talk about this whole idea. It's the mom that talks about that. And she's talking about, you know, the dining room would be the heart of the house because that's where everything flows in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, that would be great because some houses are nice and that would be a beautiful place to be. But this house is not nice.
No.
And it has a different idea of what its heart is and what its stomach is and what its brain is and everything else. And it's very unsettling when you get to that point and realize that there's another world where this family could have been happy and protected and taken care of and had that forever house instead of what they ended up with because they made one poor choice of deciding to flip this one, you know?
Yeah. It's fucked up. It's so awful. And you know, it's really interesting too that she's like, that'll be the heart of our house because that's where we spend all of our time together. We don't ever see them all together in a dining room in this house. Not one time through this entire fucking series.
Don't even know where the dining room in this house is.
Don't even know where the dining room in this house is. We don't even fucking see it.
The geography of the house, which is obviously done, it's a purposeful thing, right? The geography does not exactly, it's never clear. It doesn't quite line up. Some of it is probably impossible, honestly, if you tried to lay it out in a diagram, which is very much like that's The Shining, right? Is what they're doing there. But
well, I mean, that's the house too. That's Hill House. That's in the book too. It is like it has this kind of amalgamous feeling to it that it changes, and
it's such a brilliant though picture of the family too. What they say they are, what they think they are, is not actually what they are. The note that I have is dismissive parents. Everyone is so busy. Okay, this is the single horror of parenthood. Ashley, I know you and Brett do not want children. You've talked about it on the show before. Slade, I don't know if that's ever in your future or not, but like, dude, I gush a lot on the show about my kids. I got four great ones.
Your kids are awesome and you're a really good dad.
Yeah. Except like you, even the best of parents, I'm going to fuck them up too. I already have. I've fucked them all up. I've just fucked them up in different ways than I got fucked up because I was very knowledgeable and aware and conscious of it the whole time. But like, dude, what's the fucking Hank Williams song? You'll never get out of this world alive. Like, there's no way out of the childhood experience clean. That when you live with other human beings in daily contact in that way, when you rely on another human being for not only your sustenance, but your education and everything, at least for the very beginning, and then for emotional and, et cetera, growth and launching and all that, never mind actual financial resources. It's fucking terrifying. It's just the worst. And
and there's always a new way to fuck them up. There's always a new way to fuck them up that you didn't even think of. There's always a new thing, you know, like.
the mom here is so emotionally clued in to these kids, and yet, for her own reasons, she is disconnected from them all completely. And the dad, who we've already talked about, is the best of dads. You trust this dad? He comes out and tells all of the children, we can't trust mom. Don't turn around and look at her. We have to leave the house. And we all agreed last episode, we believe him 1,000,000%, never doubted him once, even the first time we watched this or read it, right?
We're
and yet,
time to go.
And yet, he won't spend time with these kids. Nobody fucking plays Tea Party with Nell.
Oh, poor Nell. And it's that moment's a microcosm for everything that happens with Nell, right?
Yeah.
It's everyone kind of just neglects her, leaves her behind, or forgets about her, or like, we can deal with that later. I mean, it's the same thing of them not taking her calls.
Her phone calls.
You know, her phone calls in the first episode. It's just Nell's always to the side of everyone else. She's always been there, which is crazy because she doesn't seem to be a bad kid or anything like that, or even that needy. She's just a sweet kid who wants to play with her siblings, you know?
Yeah.
She is like the definition of the squeaky wheel getting the grease. She's the unsqueakiest wheel, right? Yeah. She's just sweet and patient and welcoming and happy to blend into the background if she asks and nobody answers.
They all kind of are. Like, that's the other thing.
They're very accommodating.
These are all very, like, good kids. Like, even if they're not even if they're not fawning over each other, which is not a realistic expectation for siblings to be 24/7, especially when you're in a weird house that, like, for Theo makes her feel cold and weird the whole time she's in there, and the kids are seeing shit, you know, like, these are all nice kids. They're, like, respectful of their parents. They genuinely all care about each other. Like, the fact that this goes so shitty is so, I mean,
I had a note about, speaking of the dad being dismissive, right? When we get to the shed and the wasp nest over the mask, he says, nothing scary at all. I disagree, sir.
Yeah, it's still fucking scary.
That mask is still scary.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, sir?
Yeah.
They both say it's a Halloween mask.
Knowing what it is doesn't make it not scary.
No.
Also, if someone pulled that out, I would be like, absolutely not. Please no.
Just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Like, even once you explain, it's totally common. Hornets build these nests over masks, or over any item like this. It happens all the time. Okay, so that is a scientific, rational reasoning for what happened. It doesn't make that coincidence not scary. Still,
no,
right?
It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
When you tell me all the shit that lines up about Kennedy and Lincoln's assassinations, I don't think it means that there's an actual 300-year conspiracy or fate. Right.
But it is fucking weird.
It's weird that it happened two times.
Yeah. We have two of them. Yeah,
exactly, man. Okay, anyway, okay. When you tell me that the edge of my property has a family cemetery, that's the time that I go, this is not my property anymore, actually.
Yeah, I guess better to know than be given a surprise cemetery. You're just out there weed eating one day and you find a fucking cemetery. But in general, cemeteries in your backyard, thank you Pet Cemetery, thank you Hill House, are clearly not a good real estate
it's bad news.
Perk.
Okay, even Yellowstone. There's a family cemetery in Yellowstone on the giant property or whatever on the edge where the granddaddy and the great granddaddy were buried out there because they fought for the land or whatever. I don't give a shit. if multiple generations of the family are buried here, it's time for us to move.
I've seen fucking Poltergeist, y'all. I do not fuck around.
The shorthand is, don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen this show so many times at this point. And I always forget about the cemetery. It never really pops up again.
Well, because it's not the scariest fucking part of this house, turns out.
Doesn't really matter, yeah.
We're like, look at the cemetery. Something scarier is going to happen in the shed right now.
we can add this to those rules, though. It's like the person-shaped box, never go to a second location, family cemetery on the plot of your house. That's not your house
Hard
anymore.
pass.
Actually.
Hard pass. You leave that to the ancestors, friend.
Tax auction.
Well, and
burn it and bounce.
burn it and bounce.
Chain it up.
Every time I watch this, I do think to myself, I would not, Brett and I would not last long in this house. We'd have like 2 really fucked up nights in this house, and we'd be like, nope, not today, Satan. And
I'm
be
sorry,
on our merry way.
The banging in the room, and then it's just pipes. Old pipes do that. Like, fuck off, man. Like, they don't do it like that. They don't shake the room. Someone's calling Theo's name.
Yeah.
She says, like, you were calling my name. Like, that's not, pipes don't do that.
Right.
They don't say Theo. They don't whisper your name to you.
Well, and then like Theo had this experience
crazy.
on her fucking own, and then comes into the room, and then the 2 girls have the experience together. So it's not like you can pretend that didn't fucking happen to you, because your sister was right there and it happened to her too. And they are so scared. Like, and that scene in the book is so scary. That scene in every film adaptation has hit for me. That scene in this is terrifying. And they do, we see a version of it again later, and it's just as fucking scary.
It's just real enough to be scary, I think, for me anyway, Ashley. Like, I've not had that experience, right? But I have, like, passed a person on a dark walkway and turned around and there was no person, actually, right?
Yeah.
Or felt that cold chill, or heard the walking down the hallway, but nobody's in the hallway.
I straight up saw a woman at Blue Jacket that disappeared.
That when I said somebody passed me, it was a man on the trail at Blue Jacket in full costume, and I was like, "That's weird," because they were coming from actor parking. That was not a person in costume.
You had a thing at Blue Jacket too.
Yes, when they say in the play that was hallowed ground, they are not. I took my kids. It's a park now. They've paved part of what was the stage there.
Yeah.
We're talking about Xenia, Ohio. It's now Caesars Ford Park. It used to be Caesars Ford Amphitheater. But they stage some small plays there now too, I think. But there's
awesome.
there's the walking trails, and you can do frisbee golf or whatever, and they still do powwows, I think, in like the big field in the top area. Like, they do an annual powwow there. But this was literally a trailway, a meeting point where 2 trails, 3 trails met up, and it was a major highway, a major moving point for the Shawnee and other tribes for centuries before the white man ever got there. And then there was a tremendous amount of bloodshed in that area when the white man forced their way into Ohio and Kentucky and all those regions. So, like, that's for real. Yeah. And whether it's ghosts or whether it's just negative energy or positive energy, because I think it was a sacred place before so much blood was shed over it. It's real, though. Like, I don't know I can't tell you what it is. Maybe it's not the afterlife.
But
we were talking about that with a lot of the things that we've been doing on this trip, and I don't know if you wanted to keep this in the show or not.
We talk politics sometimes too.
Being on the bridge in Selma, being at Medgar Evers' house. Yeah, that was a big one for me, where it still feels wrong there.
Well, he was shot right out in front of that house, was he not?
Yes, right in front of his side door.
Yeah.
And you can see exactly the line of sight. You can walk over there and stand where he stood, and it's awful, but there is a presence there, right? There's a feeling. It's like the air hangs a little bit lower. It's heavier. Today we went to where Emmett Till was taken.
Oh, Christ.
And it was one of those situations where it's like, this is not a that nothing feels good about this place. There's an eeriness to it. There's like I said, a heaviness that just kind of hangs over everything, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also like history lives in the air, you know. And I think that's a big deal of like the same thing like you talked about with Blue Jacket, where it's like it's still there. You know, the trees don't forget. The sky doesn't forget. It knows what happened right here. The earth, the ground doesn't forget.
Our molecules don't leave. Like there's no matter is not destroyed. Matter is not created. Matter is recycled and changed. And so when to make this a little lighter now, because I know we're all kind of in a dark headspace.
I'm having a fucking meltdown.
Sorry, I took it dark. I apologize.
No.
We asked you to.
That was exactly where we should have gone. It was perfect.
Yeah. But on that hallowed ground, we had during the show Blue Jacket, we had horses that we would ride. I think at the peak they had something like 22 horses and like 50 something cast members.
I think that year I was there, we had 23 horses.
Yeah, there you go. I think that was about as big as they got, but it was in that range for a long time, like 20-ish horses for a long time. And think about having 20 horses galloping at a couple of different points in the show altogether. But what also happens when you have horses in a show is you have horse shit and horse piss, a lot of it on the stage at different places.
God, okay. I died and pissed so many times. Fucking A.
That's what I'm getting to. So when a horse pisses like a dog, that piss smell remains there, and the animal says, this is the bathroom. So once they piss in a place once, they will piss in it many, 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 many times if they go travel over it again. Mm-hmm. Xenia was not the name of the horse. Zima was the name of the horse.
Oh,
I rode Zima. Zima was a beautiful horse, like a painted, spotted horse. And sweet as could be. But Zima liked to piss in one particular spot where I was blocked to die during the final scene. Now, when I fell in that final battle, it was dark on my side of the stage. There's a cannon fire, and then I'm dying in the cannon fire as Blue Jacket stabs me, I think.
This is where I always died and pissed, was during the cannon scene.
And it's dark, and so you're like looking ahead of time. Is there piss? Is there piss there tonight? And you're feeling, and you're trying to, but you're falling on sand.
Yeah. You're feeling with your mind sense. You're like, what? Yeah.
And the other nights thing is when I would go face down.
Oh, no.
And be like, oh, here I am now. And I'm still now for 5 minutes.
That was
breathing
a fucking choice.
Piss.
That was a fucking choice. That was a choice to fall that way.
What are you going to do?
Roll
it's hard to do.
I'm committed to the... give it
let
one more...
momentum carry you a little further. The stage was 3 acres. You'd have been fine.
Just roll. Bounce and roll.
Y'all. This show though will take you to those depths, and I'm so glad that he can process it. We do have those moments of levity. I think it's one of the reasons why Theo is the way that she is in this show, honestly, is because she can provide us so often a breakout from those feelings.
Yeah. We need a bite,
Yeah, even if it's a little like got an acerbic edge, like you just need something that feels different. Yeah.
Okay, here's one of the biggest moments in this episode to me, and I wanted to get your take on it. Luke's first time in rehab. We go to the flashback. First time that Luke goes in. Shirley is so optimistic. She's so positive here, and not just about Luke and his chances. She's so positive about life, it feels like at that moment. And then we cut back and we see her in her modern set, and she's so caustic and so pessimistic and so ridden down. And over the next flashback that we get to Nell's wedding, it's literally Luke that has broken her. I mean, maybe not only and entirely, but mostly, actually.
It's tough.
Yeah. That scene of them taking him to rehab for the first time, and everyone kills me in that scene.
Yeah.
Nell in particular. Nell,
about the horses?
Nell made me bawl. The horses. They have horses. She mentions it twice. Just trying to be positive and trying to give him some light.
So she adores her brother so much, right?
Yeah.
She's so connected to Luke. She's almost enamored with, she's like, oh, send me to rehab too.
Well, the thing is too, is that
it breaks my heart.
Before someone goes to rehab, you've been afraid for them for a long time. You've been really afraid for them, and you've been really afraid you were going to lose them. And it's the most, so when you get that ray of hope that there's a glimmer of hope, and we may be coming out of this, and I may get you back. I may get the version of you that I know is the real you. There is nothing like that weird feeling of hope. And I mean, it is, I felt it. Slade's felt it. It is a very real feeling. And especially when it has to do with a sibling, and you know in your soul that, like, I don't know how to do life without this person, and I can't bear that. So the fact that they're willing to take this step and make this move and try, of course, I'm going to be your biggest fucking cheerleader, you know? And then to see how it breaks down too, because the thing about rehab is that the first time it doesn't work for most folks, and you're going to relapse. Like, alcoholism is a disease. It's like your cancer coming back, you know, and it is, and drug addiction is the same way, you know, it's just, it comes back, and a relapse, you can take it so personally. You can really take it personally. And over time, when you see more and more of them, you take it more personally, you know, and it's really easy to lose perspective of what the important thing is there. And that's why, like, new like research and development of things like harm reduction are so incredibly important, and need to be such a huge part of the conversation when we're talking about recovery. But yeah, this scene hits me in the gut so hard. And that may be why this is a harder episode for me. I don't know. Like, there's some things in there that are tough.
Well, and I don't want to add to anybody's impression that believes like psychology is all a racket or anything like that. But there are institutes that are doing this all as an insurance scam, or ripping off rich patients and not taking care of the folks that they bring into their rehab facilities, and purposely making it helping them find new plugs so that they can turn them in and out.
The whole Dr. Phil thing, where he was basically being abusive to addicts, you know, for television. It's crazy.
It's so fucked up. And the thing about and like the truth bomb that they get hit with about how expensive rehab's going to be, that is fucking real too.
Which, by the way, think about what that would be today, Ashley. So they quoted, what do they quote them here? 6,000 a month?
6,000.
Yeah.
6,000 a month.
Yeah.
I thought,
Jesus,
what a steal. That would be rent in some places today, right?
I mean, well, when you're looking at it like that, yeah, that's probably someone's mortgage on their house in, like, fucking Washington State.
Okay, Chris W. Wilson on Threads, this was like a week ago. He posted, when we do universal health care, which, first of all, I like your optimism, Chris, and yes, we can. When we do universal health care, we're going to include vision, dental, and mental health in it too, right? And I reposted it and I said, yes, the fuck we are. All right, right here. Let's just talk about that.
You have to.
Why, like, my teeth are part of my body. My brain is part of my body. My nervous system is part of my body. My back and spine are part of my body. Like, it's all medical. We're going to do universal healthcare for the universal human system, for the universal citizenry. Yes, the fuck we are. In fact, if we had good healthcare in this country, this show and Breaking Bad would both not exist.
I mean, you're actually, well, it depends on if they still fucking wanted to flip this house, because honestly,
that's fair.
This house is
not just the mental health.
This house does this. Like, these people, some of these people have a proclivity of like a shine, like they talk about, like Theo obviously has some sort of like psychic inclination, as does the mother. It
I was going to say the mom is very susceptible.
And Shirley's got this dream thing that she has that's very like, and so like they all, and Nell's seeing fucking ghosts of herself. Spoiler alert, ghosts every fucking where, you know, like, and so it's this like, it's like this family would be fine if they hadn't gotten to this house, but because this family had those qualities, this house wants them so badly.
It preys on them even more.
Yeah,
because of that.
Yeah, it can scare them more. It's like Pennywise. It's like it, you know, like I feed off of fear.
It makes me wonder, and we don't exactly see this, I don't think. I don't remember from the rest of the series. Maybe we do. But it makes me wonder what mom and dad especially saw when they saw the house, right? What did the house promise them?
Yeah, you don't really get
they
get
were
that
drawn
part.
here.
Yeah.
They were drawn here. They were chosen.
Yeah. Well, and there's something about the dad I'll bring up later when we get a little deeper. Well, I guess it's a rewatch podcast.
You can talk about it now. It's fine.
The dad, we never see him in the red room.
Yeah. He never has he doesn't have a room.
He doesn't have a room.
You know, we see Shirley in this episode, right? She's in the family room. Mm-hmm. For her, it's a family room.
Yeah.
We saw in the previous one, we saw
Luke.
We saw Luke in it, right? And so, and then you never see the dad in that room.
You see the mother in that room, but
the mother has one. Mm-hmm. Everyone has one except for him.
That's fact. Okay. Is it because the dad doesn't have one, or is it because this whole series is from the children's perspective and they don't know the dad side of the story, which they don't like. Even in this one, they specifically are like, he can't just not tell us what happened. Shirley says it. He can't do that again.
I want to talk about that scene eventually,
Please.
but
we can go there right now if you want to.
That's some phenomenal acting on her part in that scene when she's on the phone with Steve.
Oh my God.
And Steve is telling her that he's telling her that Nell is dead. He's trying to tell her that he saw her, but he can't get it out because either he can't voice it, and also Shirley keeps interrupting him, not in an aggressive way, but it's just like he can never get to that point. And I don't think necessarily he even knows how he's going to say it anyway. So it's a good excuse to have her come in, but her acting in that scene is unbelievable.
Oh, her how angry she is. Like, I told you, you know, like oh my God. Like I've personally intervened, not personally like shown up and I did once, but like I have intervened in several suicide attempts by friends of mine. One time I showed up at a friend's house, called an ambulance, and, you know, got there. So like to have that feeling and to not be able to do something about it, and to be able to tell someone you need to do something, she's in trouble, and they fucking drop the ball, I'd be so furious. I'd be so, and I would, because I'd blame myself, because I'd be like, oh, I should have taken fucking care of it myself. And this is how we realize Ashley is a little bit Shirley.
Okay. It's so weird, Ashley, because I don't think of myself as an over planner or an over analyzer. I don't think of myself as a perfectionist. I think of myself as a procrastinator. But I did just immediately flash back to, and this is 20 years ago now, but like I traveled to Europe, and me and Ali Bennett, Ali Gilbert, the two of us had everything fucking planned down to the minute. Transportation, what hostel we were checking into, where we were going to stop to eat, et cetera, et cetera. And the other two that were with us were like, la-di-da, we're backpacking across Europe. Like, and we knew the Ryanair ticket seat numbers, right? Which, like, you had to buy your lottery ticket to get to. God, Ryanair made some post about, hey, airlines to passengers, leave the jeans at home. And thank God the comments all read Ryanair, their riot act. They're like, hey, you're literally the fucking Dollar General of airlines. Back it all the way the fuck up on a clothing. Yeah, what's wrong with you, man?
Hit me with a dress code for flight when you treat us like cattle.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, goodness gracious. Okay, off the topic slightly, but let's go back to that scene a little bit more, because the processing of we skipped a good bit. We'll circle back, but the processing of this death, the fact that we start the episode that way and then we come back pretty late when she finally resolves this with Steve. Yeah. You're right. The acting is phenomenal, but also we said dismissive parents earlier. Look at the way that she treats her husband in that scene, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Shirley, okay, first of all, you say you knew that this was all going to happen. I told you. Then Shirley, why the fuck didn't you go? I mean, you just said it yourself, Ashley. Mm-hmm. Okay. I am an incredibly picky eater. I don't know if I've said it on this podcast. We've talked about it on Articulate Coven. Oh. I'm an incredibly picky eater. I do not let people pick food up for me. My father-in-law, I've been married to my wife for 15 years. My father-in-law has got me food once. I was angry and anxious the entire time I waited for the food. I was like, I wish you wouldn't do that. Because here's the thing. If it's wrong, I am going to take it back and get it fixed. And first of all, you're going to feel bad. Second of all, you're going to feel a little bit like, why the fuck won't you just eat that thing that I brought you, man?
You're such a baby.
Not that wrong.
Fucking take the onion off and get over it.
And my point is, I understand it's a psychosis. I don't want to make my psychosis your problem. I have built systems. Don't fuck with my systems, though.
Exactly.
Right? Like, don't get in the way of my systems.
With my systems. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Shirley should have had a system here, and you can't honestly be mad at the rest of the family. You can't wait until after the fact and then also blame everybody else and say you knew and you told them. Then you should have done something, Shirley. You can't have it both ways.
I mean, yeah, you should have picked up the phone too. She should have picked up the phone.
Yeah, she should have called her.
If my phone, I'll be real. If my phone is in my hand and one of my siblings calls me, I am answering my phone immediately.
I think the only thing you could say in her defense here, she should have made the call, is that she does think that she's in California.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's where Steve is. So, like, that's my thing. Yeah. And she was like, you're closest.
No, she's wrong.
You could, right. She's wrong. That's not where she was. But they thought that's where she was. So, I mean, like.
But had she answered the phone, had she talked to her, she might have found out that she wasn't in California, you know?
Yeah.
And then who knows what happens.
Right.
Okay.
God damn it. Mm.
The juxtaposition, though, of them going back and forth to, because I wanted to tie in the dismissiveness of her husband. But we've already heard earlier in the episode, hubby's got a secret bank account. Mm-hmm. Why does he have a secret bank account that I don't know about, et cetera? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because you never talk to that man. Maybe it's because you treat that man like a servant instead of a business partner and a life partner. Perhaps.
Or maybe it's because you treat him like a business partner. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I genuinely think I was 3 episodes deep the first time we watched this before I realized that they were in bed together right here. Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, they were in bed together in that one scene.
Yeah.
I was like, he was sleeping beside the bed in case she needed him for business in the middle of the night. That's what it felt like the first time I watched this show.
I really love her. I love the kids that play her kids are so fantastic.
The little girl is the cutest thing in the world.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, and the little boy in this episode that is afraid to see his grandmother's open casket, which heard. I hate an open casket.
Listen.
Did anyone watch 6 Feet Under?
I haven't yet.
No, it's on my list.
Show. So it's one of my favorite shows of all time, and there's echoes of that show in this episode because of the obvious, the funeral home owning and running the funerals. And I just found that to be really interesting because it's something that I've seen in that show as well, where the fear of seeing someone or not wanting to be involved with that's a real thing. You know, they kind of treat it like, oh, this kid's afraid, like, I don't know anyone that's like, I can't wait to go to that open casket.
Right,
you know?
right. Well, and
just fucking rip it off. Let's go.
Well, and
You know, no one wants to see an open casket.
No, it's horrifying. She's so calm when she sits with him and speaks to him and explains things to him and is encouraging him to ask questions and tell her more about what he's afraid of. And to see that that's what the funeral director that took care of her mother did for her is like absolutely beautiful, because it's very confusing how this woman ends up running a funeral home. You know, like this is like
it's those small acts of kindness that end up changing the entire trajectory of your life.
Yes,
you know, that's what this did.
And she's so enchanted by the fact that he was able to fix her mother, and she didn't look.
Fixed her.
You fixed her, and her being so insistent of taking care of Nellie because she is going to be able to fix Nellie. You know, it's just gutting. Like, Shirley has so many layers to her, and it's really, really easy to write that character off as just being like a frigid bitch and being like a really rigid character that needs things their way. But there's so much more to her than that. And this episode really lets us see that even more than, I mean, obviously they all get their own episode, but this, to me, you really get more than anyone. I felt like I understood Shirley at the end of this episode in a real way.
You also know that she's been cutting prices for families. It's something that's very personal and very meaningful to her.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole, again, about 6 Feet Under, but just a quick divergence here. Like they find out that the father dies in the first episode of 6 Feet Under, and the children now have to run this funeral.
Yeah.
And they find out that he has like asterisks next to some funeral in the books. And those are ones that he like traded. You know, like he gets like an allowance of pot from a lady once a month because he buried her husband for free. You know, like these are things that because he knew that was something that they needed and had to have.
Yeah.
You know, and to be there for that moment. It's just it does show you a side of her that you don't get. I wish she treated her siblings with the same kind of, you know, love that she does her customers, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
If you're looking to barter podcasting services, go to propodcastingservices.com. We've got some discussions perhaps to be made there. I'm a kind guy for the right project.
I'm happy to do any
voiceover
work you might need.
This episode brought to you by Good Day Farms.
That's right. That's twice now I've pitched them on sponsorship, I think.
Actually, I might have met one of the like part owners of that place at the racetrack at Oakland Park.
That tracks.
The place where we're gonna go do karaoke for the Halloween event this year, and if it's fun, we'll do it again in 2027. There, I met the sister-in-law of one of the owners at the breakfast place where Kelly and I were eating, and I was talking too loud, and they were like, "You going to Cajuns?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the plan. Do you know it?" And they're like, "Yeah, my brother-in-law owns that place." And
so
then
funny.
I'm like,
so
okay,
fucking New Orleans.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. This is the note that I have. I said our parents fucking train us to be who we become, don't they? The first cat dies, and I had forgotten about the funeral director of it all in this story.
Oh.
I was writing, of course Shirley becomes a funeral director because the cat dies and mom says, we're all stories in the end. She explains why you do an epitaph, why we say words over the grave, et cetera, et cetera. And this whole thing is very, very beautiful until the bum comes out of the cat's mouth
right.
and ruins it all.
Right. But it is, and it's so true, you know, like, I mean, I'm a mess today. Apologies. Today is one of our best friends, Slade, mine, Brett's, passed away. It's his birthday today. And like having all this discussion about how you don't ever really leave. You're not ever really gone, and how the energy is still there, and just thinking about all the different ways that we linger in everyone's hearts, and how as long as someone can speak your story, you're never gone. It's just all so heavy on my heart today. And to be talking about this show during that is just really kind of awesome because it's just so it's so true. I think it's one of the things about the show that's really interesting is that despite the fact that it's horror, despite the fact that there are ghosts and weird shit happening, there is so much truth in this show and in this writing and in these characters. It's just, that's why people are so astounded by it, you know?
Yeah. It's lines like that bring you back. And Flanagan's really good at these monologues, right? He does it across everything he does, but the mom's monologue about stories is killer, and so is Shirley's
little
brief her brief eulogy that she gives is so beautiful, especially coming from a child, and this is maybe the first time she's ever really experiencing death.
Right.
To have that outlook on it, to be able to say something along the lines of, you never hurt anyone, and not everyone can say that.
Yeah. Oh.
It also is a little glimpse. It's a little glimpse into the fact that Shirley already understands the ways in which her parents are not doing things right. The way in which this family is, like, they're not, we've talked about how calm and patient everybody is and how understanding everybody is, but we're already seeing there's fractures in this family before they come to this house. They're just normal family fractures.
Right.
Get
amplified.
It's like this. We've literally talked about The Shining, the book versus the film adaptation. In the book, he's not 100%. He's not a villain before this all begins. The hotel turns him into the monster.
He's a very flawed person. He's a very far gone already. Person, but yeah, it's yeah. Yeah. And I think too, something about this episode, just to carry on with my like maudlin tone that I have tonight, I guess.
Oh, it's good.
I think that, we've all lost our dads, all three of us have lost our fathers.
Yay, Dead Dad Club.
Hey, Dead Dad Club. We have so many friends in the Dead Dad Club these days. It's awful.
You just get more and more as you get older.
We are actually, Slade and I sat solo in that club for a real long time.
That's a true story.
But like,
we've been waiting at the door, just like, come on in.
Come on in. All welcome.
The membership dues are so low, y'all.
Yeah, here's your cup of tea and your hug.
Yeah. Here's a cookie and a hug. Yeah. But I don't know what your experience was like or how much you had to dabble in the actual planning of the thing, but the funeral,
too much.
So like the idea of seeing Shirley handling people's the end of their life care so well and beautifully is so poetic to me, because so few people that she loves and knows has an easy end of it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that she takes so much care with people and so much caution with it, and wants to make sure that experience is what you need to move to the next step, what you need to move forward in your grief process. It just, the fact that she can give that grace after having lost so much is really lovely.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So not my Aunt Anne, who introduced me to Anne Rice.
Love Anne.
But her best friend from New Orleans, Auntie Gwen, who I adored and introduced me to the city in a real way as a kid and through my teen years. And then she honestly, my original plan when I got done with college was I was going to move to Auntie Gwen's house, live in the apartment behind her house, and work in the French Quarter and look at art when I was not working. Anyway, Gwen was a funeral director. It's what she did for a living. And her daughter did it for a long time too. I don't know if her daughter still does it. I don't think so. But I went to her office a couple of times. I think maybe I even applied as like a potential for a job. I went through the process when I was desperate to get a job in New Orleans. I was like, I don't know, what would it be like selling burial things here or whatever, right? Yeah. But she did talk about how like this is part of life. And there's very little that we do that serves the person. individually that is gone, but we bring people a great deal of peace as they prepare for their own end and demise. And our main job is to help the families process this tremendous grief dump at a moment that they're incapable of, and they're required to make just a dozen. First of all the decisions and all the things you have to sign and all the things that you might have to pay for, or the dots you have to connect so that the money that is already set aside gets to where it needs to go. All of that is hard enough on its own. But then on top of it, society expects us to get up in front and say something, or lead the service or whatever, right? Or in this case,
song.
Or in this case, Shirley says, I'm the one that's going to have to fix this body, tear it apart, and fill it back up full of chemicals and make her look right. Jesus Christ. Why do we do this to ourselves?
They're right. When they tell her, they're like, that's too much. It is.
It's
so
too much.
Way too much.
And it is too much.
much.
And we see it. We see that it is too much for her because she breaks down, because she has the moment where she starts to see her mother, and the bug comes out of Nell's mouth. Oh God.
When she's talking to her kids in that moment, when she sees them peeking through, that scene's so incredible. And then it's even more incredible in a later episode when you see where that came from.
Yeah.
Theo told her to say that. That's what she's basically reciting word for word what Theo told her she should say to her kids. In the moment, you're like, that's a really profound thing. You don't know anything about Theo yet. You don't know that she has this background in child psychology. You don't know any of this. But in that moment, you're like, oh, Shirley handled that really well. And then you have, again, with the gurney scene and Theo leaves. In that moment, you're like, oh, Theo just can't handle this right now. No, Theo's leaving to go do something profoundly important.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in that moment, it is grief that she's feeling, and she's tackling it in a different way. I love those reframed scenes because they add such depth to all of this. That could be simply Shirley talking to her kids and that being a big, huge, powerful moment. The fact that it's also advice that she takes willingly from her sister makes it even more lovely to me. It's such a powerful thing. I think it's incredible what they do with those reframing of moments and just coming back at it from a different angle. And it doesn't contradict it ever. It just adds depth to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like we deal with in Interview, and our Anne Rice world. It's not an unreliable narrator. It's just a literal, another hint at what happened, another layer to it. It's just, it's one of my favorite things he does in this series.
It's just actual perspective. Everyone is the main character in their own story. So when we're seeing it from Shirley's perspective, Theo's just walking away out of grief and can't it's an over. I'm more clinical and I can handle this, and Theo can't in this moment. And that's all. And Shirley's not even mad at Theo for walking away. She didn't expect her really to stay there.
No.
But when we see it from Theo's perspective, which, by the way, I'd forgotten that. I love that you guys watch this all the time and could bring those sorts of things to it, by the way. Because it's almost like I'm watching, it's like I watched the ghost of this series once upon a time, is how it feels to me, honestly. Okay. We get our first glimpse in this episode of Mama's migraines. Which, by the way, I had also listened earlier when I was listening to the last episode that I misnamed her as Linda Cardellini. Linda Cardellini is beautiful.
I've got
such a thing for Carla Gugino. I can't believe that I confused those. I guess Linda Cardellini is Velma, maybe.
Linda Cardellini can get it. Linda Cardellini is gorgeous.
These are beautiful. Beautiful women that are also great actresses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's good too.
It's a natural mistake. She also has kind of a shaggy, dark brown hairdo,
It's just that they're both gorgeous women with very difficult, vaguely Italian names, is why I'm like, oh yeah, it's okay. We hear about her migraines though here. Color storms. It's been a long time since you've had one of your color storms. And she says, this time, though, it wasn't a color, it was black. Like fireworks, but black.
Bad news bears. That doesn't sound good, y'all.
No. It doesn't sound good at all. Okay, here's my note. Dad is so reasonable in this scene. And Mom is so unreasonable in her reaction.
Yeah.
He says, all he says is, I wish I would have been part of that conversation. It's not accusatory.
Mm-mm.
He even says, I probably would have said nothing different or done nothing different. You handled it great, basically, is what he's telling her. He's just like, hey, I wish I was around. Maybe it wasn't even directed at her at all. It almost sounded like wistful, like, God, I hate him so busy all the time.
Just a thought he said out loud. I think this is such a demonstration too about like the pressure that women feel to be perfect mothers,
Okay, that's fair.
Not that I am a mother, but I mean, I have a pretty good idea about some of the pressures that women feel placed on them by society. And women have this societal pressure to be perfect in every bit of your mothering. And especially now we're talking about this was in the 90s, but like what you said, Joel, like you raise your children with the intention of being emotionally aware, with the intention of not being a damaging force in their life. And when you fuck up, it's fucking awful. Like, that's so hard. And I think for the mother stress and the mother pressure, it's just like, that's a whole other layer to it.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
That scene, I have two notes about that scene. One is you get a good idea of how their marriage works as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get a more in-depth look at that later when she talks about how they are. And actually, he's talking about how they are, right? The kite and the line.
Yeah.
And you get a kind of a glimpse into that where he's like the grounding force and she's feeling all these emotions and they're exploding out of her. And he's like, not our finest moment, not our best hour. He's such a calming influence. My other note is less deep. It's how big is this bed?
Oh, dude.
It's like it feels like a full size. That's like a small bed.
It looks small. Like, I know the Hannah and I are small people, but I feel like we have a lot more room in our bed than they do.
I mean, I feel like that's got to be a full or a European, whatever.
It's so interesting.
A double bed. A double. I bet that's what it is.
I thought beds were very, very standard sizes. Kelly and I have had a king-size bed, I don't know, maybe our entire marriage. I think maybe when we first got married, we had a queen, but we got a king very early and we've had a king ever since then. However, recently we swapped from an old Comfort Soft, like the ones with air in them or whatever. We had an old one of those to a Big Fig, I think is the brand. It was like one of these that we got online. Yeah. It's like made for bigger bodies.
Hell yeah.
First of all, it's a great mattress, but also it looks 6 inches bigger in every direction than the mattress we had here before.
Well, is it a California king?
It can't be.
Is it a California king?
No, it's not. No, it's just a king size bed.
I used to sell sheets.
It looks so much bigger. It looks so much bigger. And and when we're laying on the bed together, even I'm like, I feel like we could be not touching at all, and I could forget that you're on this bed, or we could be right on top of each other, and there's an ocean around. Anyway, y'all, go try a Big Fig mattress if you are also a bigger body.
Hey, another sponsorship.
This episode brought to you by Big Fig mattress. Yeah, there you go. It's not just distilleries. We'll sell for anything.
Fig. I don't think it's Big
Goodness
Fig.
gracious. No, I do. I think it's called. I've got a little cutter thing that they gave me to open the packaging. Yeah, no, look, it is. It's called Big Fig.
Big Fig.
Because it's
I take it back.
Big figure. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have a code I would give you because I would totally take their credit. Their sheets are so good too. That shit's expensive though. I'm a sheet snob now, Ashley. They had cooling sheets and they're fucking delicious.
Okay, like send me a link.
We have sheets
send
in
me
rotation.
A link for the sheets,
I will.
Joel. Send me a link.
We have sheets in rotation, and
I'm a cozy
we got these.
Now.
We got these, and I don't know. They were so expensive. They were the most expensive sheets I've ever bought personally. But I told Kelly, I'm like, this is so bad because now we can't put any of the other sheets on the bed, even for a single night. I'm like, we have to wash them. Yeah, God, I've got to buy another pair. All right. Jesus, we went afield there. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, it's fine.
The juxtapositions of the makeup applications, y'all. They go back and forth from her putting the makeup on the body to her putting the makeup on Nell at her wedding. And that was the part where I cried in this episode. That was too much for me, honestly.
It's very, very hard. that it's how unfair it is, right? It's just, I don't know how to even describe it. I cried in that scene. I cried in that scene every single time. You're right. It's the back and forth. It's the life. That's probably the happiest that Nell has ever been in her entire life. And now we have her, deceased. It's
well, and it's like literally probably the saddest Shirley's ever been in her life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's so heartbreaking.
And maybe the second saddest that Shirley ever was that day at the wedding when we discover that she's the reason that Luke didn't make it to the wedding. She says earlier in the episode, Luke didn't make it to the wedding. He's going to make it to the damn funeral or something like that.
Oh, no. Theo says that to her.
Theo says that. That's my bad. That's right.
Yeah.
But we see here, Shirley ran Luke the fuck off. And don't get me wrong, it was a good choice.
I was about to say, where do we stand on that? I had that question for everybody. Where do we stand on Luke not being allowed to go to the wedding?
I think she did the right thing. Luke was such a mess. He was a ghost of himself that day. He would have slung his shit on Nell's day. And Nell doesn't know. When Nell is laying there on that slab, Nell doesn't know that Shirley did this. Nell just thinks that Luke had a moment and couldn't make it because Luke's got problems. And Nell doesn't hold that against Luke. So Shirley's the only one that holds the weight of this, is what I'm saying. Like, she took, this is a real, true. This is the moment that makes Shirley like a messianic, this is a Christ figure moment for Shirley, honestly, is like,
I do think
she took the pains of the world. It's a terrible choice to make.
When I don't have a problem with the choice. I think that's fine. She crossed the line when she gives them the money and says, shoot it up. I don't care.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't. I mean,
that's fucked up.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing.
You're right.
That's the kind of thing that wants to come out of your mouth first because you're so angry, but because you're a fucking adult and you've worked through some things in therapy that you're able to say 1, 2, 3. Let's say something different.
And here's the crazy thing: she basically could have just excised that one. It's not even a whole sentence. That one phrase in the sentence. She could have put the firm boundary. This is the last money that you get from me.
Yeah.
And that,
we're done.
We're done.
But man, back in the MySpace days, Kevin Smith wrote like a multi-part blog about Jason Mewes' addiction and how Kevin had taken him into his house several times and he had sent him to rehab several times. And he had finally told Jason, I love you. It will torture me the rest of your life, my life. But if you have to die on the streets, if that is the end of your story, I cannot go with you anymore, my friend. I have gone as far as I can go. And I can't, I think it was a woman, honestly. I think the woman that Jason is married to now is the reason why Jason finally began to seek sobriety on his own. And like, that's what has to happen, right? You guys know this better than I do.
Boundaries. And
yes,
Theo says that boundaries, and she talks about that a lot. And, I went no contact with our father for about 2 years. Because I had to have a boundary there. I had to have a boundary for my own well-being, for my own mental health. I had to have a boundary. And it's not something I regret, but it is something I had to do, and I had to hold to it. And you can do that. And I did not do it with kindness. I will say that I was not kind as I stormed out of that house. But
you probably didn't throw him $25 and say, shoot it up, though.
No, I was literally 20 years old.
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to say until I got distracted by how young we were. But no, we were so young. But I had zero regrets about setting that boundary because it was to a point that I could no longer, it was untenable. I could no longer be a party to watching what he was doing to himself. And I could not be a party to the abuse that was happening as a result of it. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was in a position, because I was in school, I was in college, that I could remove myself from it. And so I did, but even in that's not anything I could ever. I think that there's a difference between your relationships with your siblings and your parents. And I wish that other adults that were in my life maybe had been able to help more with that situation. And that's a whole other thing, but I could never say the harshest things to my siblings like that, I can't imagine ever saying that. I've been pretty mean, and I can be a real bitch, and Slade can attest to that. I can be a real cutting, hateful. I can be really hateful sometimes, but it's not something I ever want to do to my siblings. And even when times are tough, and even when we have to say hard things, we have to be able to have those conversations. We have to be able to do it. And I think that's a better way to approach it than to do the cutoff if you can. But boundaries are important. I can't blame her.
Okay, I've got a question for you all. Anthony Rivivar, I believe is how you say it, Kevin Harris, that is Shirley's husband in the show.
Kevin.
The funeral director at Mama's funeral that we flash back to is not played by the same actor, right?
No,
but they do purposely
kind of
look
favors
alike,
him.
don't they?
It does a little bit.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched this.
I think we're supposed to think that Shirley went out and found this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time I watched this, I remember being like, oh, what's he gonna do that's creepy? Because he's kind of got a creepy vibe. I'm like, I don't trust this guy.
He's just slick. He's just slick and smooth. I don't even think it's creepy. I think it's just slick and smooth in a way that we are, especially in a horror project, we're conditioned to expect something
to be suspicious.
Yes.
But I also
and he does
think
maybe the kindest thing in the show.
Right. I also, the funeral director, but also with Kevin, I think there's a little bit of a feeling that he doesn't. I think they specifically other him to show that he is not part of this sibling group, you know? And so despite the fact that we're going to see him side by side with them in a lot of these scenarios going forward, in a lot of the scenes going forward this season, we are not, it will always be very clear that it's not like the same vibe Brett has when he's hanging with my siblings, you know?
Yes,
which is,
yeah, okay.
Brett is, and Hannah, Slade's partner, like the same way, 100% family. Like there is no like other there, you know what I mean? But you get that.
It's also different than the married-ins in House of Usher. Because so there's married-in members of the Usher family in that show, and they are also all terrible and spoiled and horrible in their own way, just like the actual Usher kids. And you're like, well, why? It's because the curse in Usher is about the money and the prosperity and the power that stems from it, and how they're all guilty because they all accept it and soak it up. But like the curse here predates Kevin. Kevin wasn't part of the terrible things that have happened to this family.
No.
And so he is othered because he's not involved in the therapy session that is this ongoing family story.
Well, and I guarantee you, Shirley has never really sat down and told him what she experienced.
He does not know about
100%.
Those kittens, for instance.
He only knows what he read in that book. I guarantee you he read that fucking book, though. But I feel like he only knows what he read in that book.
You would have to, right? I mean, like when your spouse is that closed off from you and someone wrote a book about their childhood,
that might give you insight.
Fucking read that book. You would definitely read that. I would. I
take notes.
Sure.
I take notes.
Like, man, this explains so much.
Yeah.
That makes me think. I'm reading a book right now. I had to look it up. It's from 2022. It's called Trust. It's by Hernan. Hernan Diaz. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. There are 4 distinct books inside this one book. and they're basically all different versions of the same. Like one of them is a fictional novel, one of them is a memoir or notes of a memoir. One of them is the notes that was written by the memoirist, and then one of them is like the diary of the wife involved in the story. And they all intertwine. It's so compelling. The audiobook's really good too. It's voiced by 4 different people, I think. I cannot recommend it enough. It's only like 10 hours, the audiobook. Trust by Hernan Diaz. It was basically exactly what you were just describing there, Slade. And I'm reading that right now, actually. Yes, everybody's story is their own little version of it, and everybody comes at this from a totally different, it's just, as I said earlier, everyone is the main character in their own story, and we're all writing little different ones. Man. Okay. Oh. Let's talk about the casting for a second. We always talk about how great Mike Flanagan's casting is, and he gives this repertoire. But these 3 sisters, and I hadn't really noticed it initially, but when Nell is laid on the slab there and she's fixing her makeup,
like when her makeup's done, she looks like fucking Theo.
Like insanely like Theo.
Insanely like Theo.
In the light, it also shows how close Shirley looks to the 2 of them. These 3 sisters are so well cast. Yeah. You could swap them in the right lighting and a little makeup, and I would buy either one of them for either of the other. It's really crazy, honestly.
I have never noticed until this time. I always felt like Nell looks like not like Nell.
Yeah.
After her makeup's done, which is also kind of a nod to the fact that nobody ever looks fucking right when you're dead with a bunch of makeup on your face.
It never looks right.
But to literally today, when I did another rewatch of this episode, I was struck by the fucking Theo of it all. I was like, no, she looks just like fucking Theo right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had to back it up to make sure they didn't put Kate on the slab for a second. I thought they had swapped.
She might have volunteered, you know.
It's wild. She looks so much like her.
Yeah.
I knew what was coming at the end of this episode. Like I knew that I remembered that Mama shows up at the end and is on the other slab. But still, it was scary as shit when it happens. And when she rises, it's scary as shit. And her eyes are white. All of it's fucking terrible. It's all fucking terrible, guys.
Well, it's so scary. Like she's so terrifying and beautiful at the same time. It's so bizarre to have that mix of you're like that she's gorgeous, but also stop doing the thing that you're doing because it's creeping me out real bad.
So here's something that just occurred to me on this watch of it is that I don't think that she sees her mother the night they leave. So when she says to him, "You fixed her," she has to have seen her mother's fucking ghost since she died, don't you think?
That's interesting.
Like
maybe so, yeah. Maybe
I don't know.
So.
As we find out later in this season,
weird,
I think
interesting
other
thought.
family members, that's
because she knows Dad's covered in blood, but she doesn't know that her mother is has fucking broken bones and a
definitely not
fucking
because
skull.
Because that kind of a lot of that happens
after they leave.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So she had to have had a dream about her fucking fucked up dead mom. Oh, Cheryl.
Or she just assumes
that she would be.
I live in America, as we talked about at the beginning of this episode, and for healthcare and various reasons, it will probably mean that I may never own a home, actually. But I do have a forever house that I sort of dream of. I've got a blueprint from a magazine. My dad was a carpenter and a contractor, and I used to dream that someday I'd get him to build a house for me. And he had all these magazines. I had a dream about a house one night when I was a kid, and I'm flipping through a magazine like 2 months later or something, and it was the house that I had dreamed of. So I've got that blueprint in a folder somewhere. Kelly found a blueprint of a house in a thing. It's pinned up on our refrigerator, I think, right now. I will never build a model of either one of those houses to go in my current home, though, because of this fucking show, y'all.
That scene when she's walking,
when the light comes
love
on,
that scene. I love that scene so much.
It's great on
she's
TV.
Turning all the lights out. It's such an elegantly shot scene, and then the fucking lights on the model go on twice. Fuck no, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm out.
Also, like,
Tax
what
option.
the fuck's in your forever house? Like, that wasn't even Hill House. What the fuck got into your forever house? I'm so sorry.
It's them.
That's
in
that's
them.
what I'm saying. It's them. They've brought it with them. They are now the carrier, which again that's the you guys were talking about like how you get drawn into it. Oh, Slade, you said Mama is so horrifying and yet she's so beautiful.
She's so
right?
gorgeous. Yeah.
Okay. I think that this whole series, I think one of the reasons why you guys find so much comfort and you eat it up like it's comfort food almost. I think that is sort of the point. I think that's sort of the point. This is a reminder for all of us that, like, to live in grief, to let grief swallow us up. It's very seductive, actually. There is a part of that process that is beautiful. There is a part of that process that is dopamine serving almost. There is a part of that process that is easy to wrap up. There's a Netflix cartoon. What is it? Where the hormone monsters exist?
Big
I can't
Mouth?
remember the name of it.
Big Mouth.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Big Mouth has a shame cat. I think it's not. It's the shame wizard. What's the cat? The cat is like the depression cat or something like that. Anyway, there's a cat that comes and wraps you up in its giant bushy tail and just puts you to sleep in sadness. And yes, it's really easy to do that. When my dad first had dementia and then I finally started processing it, I ended up in therapy and I ended up on medication for a while. And when he died and my grandfather died within like 6 months of each other. And y'all, there are parts of my life that still haven't gotten back on track. And that was like 6 years ago now almost. It's not that long, but it's close. But like it's easy for us to live in the grief. And even if you don't live in the grief, the wake that people's deaths leave behind might drag you down anyway. Yeah. So we cannot allow ourselves to be caught up in the beauty of it. That's my point, Slade. And you said it so perfect. I think that's why Mama looks so lovely in that scene. It's because Shirley's dwelling in it.
It is seductive in a way, right? It's easy to dwell. It's easy to do that. It's why I think this series is so powerful, because in the end, you get an out. You get that sense of unburdening, this great unburdening of yourself, and realizing that this isn't the end of anything. Mm-hmm. Because time doesn't even exist really.
Right.
It's just something that we made up.
We're just stars. We're just pieces of stars, y'all.
And I think that's the part of it that if you were to watch 9 episodes, I can't remember how many episodes this is. I think it's 10, right?
I swear it's 10. Yeah, I swear it's 10.
If you were to watch 9 episodes of this, you would be living in the grief. You would be wallowing in the grief. You would be seduced by that feeling and be wrapped up in it. And then you watch the 10th episode and you get unburdened from it in a way that I think is extremely powerful.
Well, and it's something you can recognize in yourself too, as someone who has had to navigate those waters of grief and loss. That you've come out on the other side, at least in some way, and like we said, your grief doesn't get smaller, you just get bigger. But that's an important part of it, like that getting bigger is a really important part. And remembering that does happen and that it will continue to happen as you move along is like really reassuring, I think. Like, and it's like a little bit of a cold hug from.
No, it does feel good, right? Because there's part of it's like when you feel those pangs hit you, it is like they're not gone.
Yeah.
To feel it again. Well, and I still think about Dad. I thought our father a lot on this trip. There's moments where it feels like he's right there with me, and I was 17 when he died.
Yeah.
We're well over 20 years ago at this, 25 years. It's incredible that it still happens, but when it does, it's almost like, oh yes, this, the fact that I can still feel that and feel that grief is almost lovely
Yeah.
in a way.
It is. It's beautiful. Like today I was thinking about how many people are thinking about Maddie D, our friend, and like how many people right now in this very moment that we're talking are probably thinking about Matt DeCample. And that is how I know there's something else, like it's just, I love it.
Here's something cool, Ashley.
Comfort.
You just said his name. There's a bunch of people that are going to go Google him now that never heard about him.
Oh,
and
please
will know
do.
about. They'll
please
see
do.
a lovely picture of him on your profile photo, or
please
they'll
do,
see
because he was an incredible man. He was a really, really special guy, and we were so lucky to have him in our lives. And you'd be surprised at all the things he did if you do Google him.
I was telling our chat group this week, Slade, Judah used to tell his friends stories about my grandparents. My two grandparents were, my father was the youngest child, and they were both very old when they had him. And my grandfather was like 10 or 15 years older than my grandmother. And so like they're from a whole different world. They were, my aunts on that side of the family are the same age as my grandmother and grandfather on my mom's side of the family. And so they have really interesting stories about their lives generally, but both of them fell off the same mountain 20 some odd years apart, and my grandmother survived it. And my son told those stories to his friends, right? But the first time that I heard him talking about how he had told that story to his friends, I broke down in tears, and I was explaining to him, I said, there's a very famous quote, and I think it's Twain, but whoever said it, you die twice. You die once when you're in the ground, and then you die the second time when someone says your name for the last time, right?
Yeah.
But every time, when she says in this show, we're all stories in the end, like I said in the chat group, I do not fear death.
This is
I fear the end of my story. I fear I've realized this recently. I fear existentially the loss of my record, of the existence of my person. I strive for some sort of dent in the universe in a way that will be remembered. And I cried. I'm crying now. Think about it. But I cried hearing Judah telling these stories to his friends, because I'm like, they might not even remember their names, but those kids will someday tell someone else about these two crazy ass old people from Alabama that fell off the same mountain 20 years apart, and the woman survived it. It's something like that will echo on into centuries and centuries after they're gone. And it's like, what more could you want? None of us are promised the afterlife. Ain't nobody ever been there and come back, y'all. I don't care what they tell you. So we don't know how that works out.
Stat, Joel. Just the vampire stat.
Well, okay, but we don't know. Maybe you hallucinated that, actually. But I'm saying what we do know, though, is that we still say Shakespeare's name, don't we?
Yeah. Yep.
We still know who Julius Caesar is. We still talk about Mark Antony. We still talk about Cleopatra. We still talk about Ramses the Great, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
There's a brand new documentary about Charles Manson that just came out on fucking Netflix. So
carve a swastika on your forehead. I mean, don't do that, folks. Don't
do that. Absolutely not.
Maybe not that one.
Don't put that on your checklist, friends.
Here's where I can't remember the quote, but here's where I quote Manson to remind everybody. He didn't kill anybody. Nope. These are your children. These are your sons and daughters.
Oh my God.
You taught them. I didn't teach them.
How can you quote more Manson directly than I can? My God, Joel.
I'm sorry. I can quote that much Manson because I watched a thing recently where two of my favorite they do wrestling impressions. They did Macho Man Randy Savage reading Charles Manson quotes. It was so perfect. It was so perfect.
Go ahead and send me that link.
I'm going to send you the link.
I'm going to
send you the link.
Brad and I need to watch
a couple things before we wrap up your little business.
Woo.
Excellent episode, y'all. Thank you, Slade, for that great conversation. Thank y'all for being so open emotionally about this I will say, Slade, go back, listen to our Midnight Mass shit. I cried a lot about religious trauma in that episode, in that season, so we're good.
I've listened to the whole thing.
But I will say Brett cried the least of all of us so far, so we're going to have to... We'll have to find his button.
Yeah.
Usher's...
Maybe Dr. Sleep can get him.
Ooh, Dr. Sleep got me.
Dr.
Sleep. For sure.
Dr. Sleep.
First things, if you have found this, but you don't know who we are otherwise, go check out The Articulate Coven. We've got 170 episodes and counting. Lots of great stuff covering Anne Rice and other horror stuff. We're over 170 episodes. It's nuts. Okay. Second, though, articulatecoven.com/events to get info on those things that we discussed at the beginning. We've got 2 Halloween events coming up. We've got a 10th anniversary event in March. And then finally what? Oh, Jesus. If you're watching these on YouTube or the various podcasting apps, you can go to Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join, and get access to everything we do early and ad-free there for $2 or more a month. And there's some different levels depending upon what you want to do to support the Coven. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for your comments. Slade, thank you so much for some excellent commentary this week. I'm genuinely... I'll never let Brett on this show alone again because all of Ashley's ne'er-do-wells that she brings in are too good.
Look,
y'all run me out of the job.
Look, listen, I'm only associate with excellent men.
I thank you.
Yeah.
You had no choice in my case. But...
It's true. But I feel like I helped make you a good person.
100%. I agree.
Until we talk to you next week for episode 3 of The Haunting of Hill House, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Slade.
And we are Flan-Again. Thank you for watching Flan-Again, a Mike Flanagan rewatch from The Articulate Coven. If you want our videos and audio early and ad-free, visit articulatecoven.com/join and join the Coven.